Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and how are you, everyone, from all over the world? Enkeleda, how are you?
Good morning. I am good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And I think we are waiting participants now. They are not in the room. I cannot see. Now, I think we can begin while we are waiting. I want to call Enkeleda Lulaj from University Haksizeka, Peja, Kosovo. And the word is yours, Enkeleda. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Greetings to all of you. Good morning. It's early morning in my state. So I am Enkeleda Lulaj from state of the Kosovo. I work at the University Haksizeka, Faculty of Management in Tourism, Hospitality and Environment. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
I am professor for finance and accounting. Thank you so much. Really, I'm very proud and very honored to be here. Just a moment, I will share my screen. Can you see my screen? Because my network is very poor. Okay. Just a moment. Thank you once again for inviting me. So today I will talk about an overview technology, finance and education. I will make a relationship between my experiences with students and my scientific paper in the Kosovo's universities during COVID-19, accepted by Web of Science. I invite you to listen carefully because you will learn a lot about technology, finance, and education. At the end of this presentation, you will see the recommendation that will help the universities. So in this slide, you will see overview, general information about technology, about education and finance. A new point of view about financial stress to students during online learning in these difficult times with pandemic, and learn a special skill that change basic attitude. Also, you will see theories and case studies. Theories, we have many theories about financial stress, financial stability, technology, online learning, etc. Examples, one of the main goals during online learning is communication according to the results from many papers around the world. And you will see also case study, as I told before, with my students at the University Haksizeka. So you will see also one question: does financial stress affect students' performance during online learning? Introduction. So money and finance play a very important role in our lives, in our society. Technology seems to be the one element connected teachers or professors and students in the crisis. Technology bridges the gap between quarantine and teaching. Digital tech during this time is a need for all of us. So online learning is a learning process which takes place through the internet as one of the forms of distance learning. What is important about financial technology? So financial technology is the technology and innovation that aims to compete with traditional financial methods in the delivery of financial services. Now, an overview: technology, finance, and education. What is important about education? So education brings a natural change in an individual reasoning and ability to achieve the target goal. It facilitates us to investigate our own consideration and thoughts and make it ready to express it in various shapes. Education also means helping people to learn how to do things and encouraging them to think about what they learn. Education is one of the main components that brings growth and progress in a society. The more people in a society are educated, the more they can be a beneficial contribution to their environment. So we as a society all over the world are in era of lifelong learning, so we must be committed to the maximum to raise the quality of education through technology. Since teachers or professors and students are unique in nature, it is essential to find ways to communicate with each student individually. In this case, increased collaboration between professors or teachers and students affect the harmony between teaching and learning. The main attributes that affect the growth of cooperation are respect, satisfaction for work and learning, continue, reflection, and improvement. Also, you will see some quotes about finance, personal finance, and financial stress. So don't tell me where your priorities are. Show me where you spend your money, and I will tell you what they are. Poor spending habits lead to poverty. If you buy things you do not need, soon you will have to sell things that you need. Says from Buffett. In this slide, you will see ADIA model. What is this important about the ADIA model? So ADIA model has two steps. Step number one has three sub-factors: example, analysis, design, development, etc. So step number two has two steps, 4 and 5 sub-factors, or implementation and education. What is important about the sub-factors, number one, or analysis, about ADIA model through technology? Analysis, it is very, very important in this time with pandemic, during online learning. Analyze your situation to understand the gaps you need to fill. Please keep in mind, because it's very, very important for the universities. Design based on your analysis, make informed decisions to design the best possible learning experiences. The number 3 sub-factors, number 3, development. What is this important about development? So bring your learning experiences to life by building your end product. Implementation, distribute your learning and product to your audience. Who's your audience? Is students or staff or participant or etc. So Subfactors number 5, education. What is this important through ADA model? Education evaluate if your learning and products is effective, make any necessary updates, and cycle back to the analysis phase. Now, also you will see a relationship between financial stress has a relationship with money, money has a relationship with households and the impact on financial stability. Households has a relationship with the coronavirus pandemic on the global economy world. So, early estimate predicted that should the virus become global economic, most major, included my state as well, most major economies will lose at 2.9% of the gross domestic product or GDP over 2020. Or a financial stress is an emotional tension that is specifically related to the money. Anyone can experience financial stress, but financial stress may occur more often in households' economy with low incomes. Or while countries are at different points in their COVID-19 pandemic, worldwide, there are currently more than 1.2 billion children or students in 186 countries or states affected by school closure due to this pandemic. Households and the impact on financial stability. The household sector has the power to influence the overall economy in part because of its size and its significant exposure to the financial sector. It also plays an important role in monetary and financial stability as the behavior of households with respect to resources allocation, including their saving and spending decisions, affect market price. Now, in this slide, you will see my scientific paper published in Web of Science. You will see a relationship between technology, finance, and education or online learning. As well, you will see a relationship between online learning, performance, students, financial stress, households, COVID-19, as in the end, universities. In this presentation has 3 variables: financial impact on the new teaching and learning environment, or MMN, financial impact and problems related to lack of dedication to learning, or PMPM, stresses from COVID-19 related to financial and learning factors, or SCS. So research, as it was emphasized in the introduction, the purpose of this presentation or this topic and the main objective is are the correlation between the factors financial stress and education, teaching and online learning to students in universities of Kosovo during the online learning. Do these factors correlate with each other, and do they affect students' performance? Based on these issues, the findings from econometric models will provide a recommendation for universities in the state of Kosovo. So for this topic or this study, data was collected from the higher education institution, more specifically in Kosovo public universities. This survey was completed with master degree, bachelor degree, and PhD students. Also, you will see financial stress and 3 factors: new teaching and learning environment, PMPM, and SCS. MMN has 6 sub-factors. Example, how to say, increase and easy to completion of difficult tasks during online learning, or difficult concentration during online learning, or determination of performance during online learning, etc. PM. So this variable has 7 sub-factors. Example, isolation problems with from COVID-19, or study problems, or problems with employment-related education, or problems with personal finances, problems with family and relationship with others, or problems with career due to funding reasons, etc. And at the end, you will see also SCS variables. This variables has 5 sub-factors. Example, financial stress for payments, or delay in graduation, delays in assignment, research and exams, social isolation, jobs and careers, etc. Now, in the slide, you will see about results from 3 variables: financial impact on the new teaching and learning environment, or MMN. The financial impact for students and their family for the reason of COVID-19 in the new teaching and learning environment, in order to meet the condition to continue online learning, have been increased. So in this case, higher education is also facing various challenges in the process of transforming the new teaching and learning environment. In this table has 6 variables. So the correlation in the highest percentage of 19% has the variables M and N1 with the variables M and 3, which means that if students do not have concentration while online learning, their performance will decrease, or vice versa. So also you will see the results about the financial impact and the problems related to lack of dedication to learning, or PM. During using the online platform through technology, are some elements which can be considered barriers to MMN, or new teaching and learning environment for students, such as delayed responses by students. Professors are not always available to respond in students' time, motivation diminished by students, feeling of isolation due to lack of presence of classmates, poor network, or outdated computer that can show down the use of lecture materials. These problems can be overcome with the help of professors or teachers who adapt their new teaching and learning environment strategies to the need of students. Therefore, to achieve this, professors or teachers should have knowledge and experiences in MMN, or new teaching and learning environment. So in this table include 7 sub-factors, as I told before. The correlation in the highest percentage of 80% has the variables PM3 with variables PM4, which means that if students have problems with personal finances and stresses, their performance will decrease, or vice versa, because indirectly the stress and funding factors affect the students' performance. Now, in this slide, you will see the results about the variables number 3, or stresses from COVID-19 related to financial and learning factors. Tuition fees are quite difficult to pay by students in good times, let alone on difficult days, like in this case of pandemic. Distances save lives, but there is economic pain because many businesses are going bankrupt and laying off workers, employed students and their families who pay for them. And this has challenged and aggravated both financial and educational stresses for students. So even for those who can pay the bills, their gloomy job prospect after graduation created anxiety, while many students carry large student loan debts. But it is essential to state that not all students have the necessary condition for online learning through technology. So students are living very, very difficult educational experiences during this pandemic COVID-19. In this table included 5 sub-factors. So the SCS number 5 variables has a positive relationship or correlation with the variables 1, 2, 3, 4, but the highest correlation has with the SCS number 1 variables in the value for 86%. Student stress for payment is related to work and career. Therefore, all variables 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 emphasize that stress affects both factors, teaching and learning, new teaching and learning environment and financial stresses. And in the end, as general recommendation of this topic, related technology, finance, and education for the state, for the universities, as well as for the students and their families. Do these factors, financial stress and new teaching and learning and environment during COVID-19 are presented as follows. The number 1, as a recommendation, condition must be created for new teaching and learning environment. Another recommendation for this topic, there must be financial condition for students. Another recommendation, there should be concentration during online learning. Stresses factors should be removed. There should be information from professors on how exams and tests will be conducted during online learning. There should be good communication, example, with professors, with administrative staff, with colleagues, with friends, with family, etc. There should be a study commitment for students by professors. So this is my topic for this conference. Thank you so much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ankara Delulash, for your good presentation. It gives us very much more information. And I want to ask a question about our students. I linked with your presentation, so I wanted to ask if it is okay. Our students wanted schools to open firstly at the beginning of the pandemic, and there was great demand for this from them. Schools have opened, but this time they said we are full, that's enough. They say to return to online education again. How do you think we explain this situation according to you?
So thank you so much for this great question. In my opinion, based in my experience in Kosovo, for my students and for my students and my colleagues as well, we are very, very, very difficult times with virus or with COVID-19, because some students has very poor network, and some students has very very poor financial in their family, or some students have stress during online learning. So this is very, very difficult for my students, and I hope this situation with pandemic will be how to say will be more damage, because so many very, very important about education, online learning.
Thank you so much for your explanation to my question. I want to thank you again. And I want to call myself, I think it's my first presentation today. And I want to share my screen. Yes. Yes, technological development of Turkey in export and import procedures. There is good development about that in Turkey and all over the world, especially it turned because of the European Union. As we look at export and import of Turkey, European Union countries are very important and first place because of logistic and nearest also. And I want to explain what happened in these procedures. This is my study's aim. First of all, I want to talk about that. The whole world is renewing itself day by day with technological developments also. This renewal takes place from education to health services and even customs procedures used in import and export. This, digitalization is customs procedures, which is an effect of this change and transformation in the light of technological developments, is an important factor that facilitates human life, as in other areas. In this context, it's seen that import and export transactions in Turkey have also become easier. Along with state-level technological systems, data entry and control in import and export are provided with special programs used by customs consultancies. The Turkish Ministry of Commerce and Customs administrations carry out their foreign trade transactions through applications such as computerized customs activities. It's called as Bilge in Turkish. This system called Bilge, and electronic data exchange system, EDI, customs goods tracking analytical performance program, GetUp. Foreign trade companies and customs brokers, who are their legal representatives, on the other hand, carry out customs procedures with certain special programs such as Evrim and Mavi. It's Turkish words, we can say. Transactions made through these programs are transferred to electronic customs systems via interfaces. While transferring this information, those who carry out the foreign trade transactions make the necessary signatures with the secure electronic signature method, while the customs administration can terminate the transactions received in the electronic environment with a secure electronic signature in the same way. So study on how the software, which is mentioned as technological innovations that facilitate export and import in Turkey, provides conveniences, aims to show how customs procedures have developed with the development of technology. And this is my studies aim, I can say. And some research questions I have in my research. What are the technological developments in the field of import and export in Turkey? Which technological innovations do the public and private sectors benefit from? And do technological innovation facilitate import and export also? I explained in my paper detailed. Some details I will not explain all the things because technical details it has. And some also result of the study we can talk about, as in the whole world, Turkey has kept up with the technological developments we know. This harmony varies from using technology in our daily lives to directing the economy. So much so that although it is customary to reflect the presentations from the computer to the projector in the universities, the content of the computer courses in this curriculum have been enriched. Robotic coding lessons were added to the curriculum at primary level. All kinds of transactions such as health system, financial transactions, citizenship services, etc., and this kind of, have become carried out through the government system. Therefore, it was unthinkable that import and export regimes could not keep up with this technology also. We see that the international trade carried out in the entire international system also get its share from these innovations. While we are looking at the government systems in Turkey, we can say bilgi system, computerized customs activities, bilgisayarlı gümrük etkinlikleri is the Turkish name and its synonym, and electronic data interchange system, ADI, customs cost tracking analytical performance program, GetUp, and some special softwares used by customs brokers in Turkey also. They call especially Evrim and Mavi system. All programs have facilitating the import and export procedures in Turkey and saved it from cumbersomeness. While we are coming at the end, I can say with the technological developments, the exclusion of import and export procedures in Turkey from digital platforms provides great convenience. Especially now, Turkey government studying on and working on export programs, but import programs are developing as a pilot in Antalya, I think, I remembered. And within the scope of study, it is stated that the technological developments are used to reduce import and export procedures in Turkey. Concrete explains of these are at state level. I said all details to kind of part we talked about. And these programs are given a special software used by customs consultancy. And as a result, the created software programs and systems, along with the convenience of the digital platform, also ensure the transparency of international trade and instant information. This is very important for all international trade. The quality of services to the international community has increased, and the procedural compliance in the functioning of the Turkish economy has been prevented also. And I want to thank you all to listen to me from Sakarya University of Applied Sciences. And that is the end of my speech. Thank you. And after myself, I want to call Reid Kaur, if he or she is there. I think I couldn't see him or her. So I want to call Joseph Caposta. Did I read correctly? I don't know. I'm sorry if it is wrong. The role of indigenous resources in a system of good rural governance from Hungary University of Agricultural and Life Sciences from Hungary.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you.
Madam President, distinguished conference, my name is József Káposzta from Hungary, Hungarian University of Agriculture and Life Sciences. The title of my, sorry, I will be the screen. Can we see the presentation?
Yes,
yes,
we
okay,
see.
So. Okay, thank you. The title of my presentation, The Role of Endogenous Resources in a System of Good Rural Governance. Today we are going through economic change that are fundamentally altering the global economy. As previous sources of growth have been executed, return on productive capital has fallen, investment has been reduced, and the financial crisis has had a shocking impact. The core economies of the major industrialist countries are under increasing strain, partly because of the growing environmental concern and partly because of this crisis in the traditional production base, which has been exacerbated. In this context, economic development based on the endogenous resources and the development of local markets is becoming increasingly important factor as the use of locally generated income has become an inevitable economic strategy in many areas. In my presentation, I will try to put this issue in context. The growth period of the last decades has transformed on the scale of needs, changing demand on the emergency of many new elements of conceptions, which are natural demand with the spread of the idea and institution of the welfare state and the locally and closely related system of good governance in also in transition. All this is expressed in social and societal action, new lifestyle initiatives, communities finding their own identity and the governing need for autonomy and self-reliance, which is accompanied by this rise of regionalism. In this changing context, the new regional development strategy in many areas was seen in the term in intra-regional opportunities, the exploitation of potential, the renewal and the development of own trade. Grassroots development building on regional potentials and indigenous resources can be expected to create a new impetus for renewal, the develop programs that are different from previous ones. The social cultural tradition of the area of concern will be integrated. The new territorial policies focus on the endowments and potential of regions and territories which are available and indigenous resources for development and can be activated under the right conditions. The driving force behind this activation in this local government system, which is necessary for the functioning of the good state in the majority of the backward areas, and then therefore consider in the priority of exam in the links between these two. According to the objective of the new territorial development in closely linked to the system of the good governance. So the focus is not primarily on the remobilization on the endowments of highly developed regions, but on the exploitation and activation of additional endogenous resources of potential within the regions. The basic problem of development, in my view, is how to integrate the territorial factors into the given system of social production and activities through efficient allocation, so that their functioning is optimal under the given economic and social condition and cyclumated. Regional potential as endogenous resources range over a very wide range. It can be assumed that the interpretation of the combined system of geographical, environmental, historical, cultural, social, and economic factors in individual located and areas and the factors influencing the activation of the value area can play the decisive role in setting a given territorial unit on the modernization path. Each of the endogenous factors can be influenced the quality of life either directly or indirectly, and therefore closely linked to the system of good governance and can be found in the other three or is the result of the interaction of the potential components. Territorial potential is therefore the sum of the endogenous resources of region. These assets have been preserved hidden of left fallow in the past economic relation and the development models. It is my
sorry, doctor. Can you pass your slide? We cannot see all slides. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Sorry. And almost maybe see.
We see, but it's the first slide is on the screen only.
Only first.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry. Territorial potential in therefore the sum of the endogenous resources of region. These assets have been preserved, hidden, or left fallow in the past economic relation of the development model. It is my conviction that is the task of the good governance link, then understand their system and integrate them into development. In change cycles tense, they can be activated by exogenous influences. They are the natural suited them can be the VH for the renewable territories. Their interrelationships, overlaps, and networks can be offered the dimension to regional development of dynamic interaction and reinforced by engineering factors. Synergy can shape the new development path for the special renewable. The most significant, the most significant community economic, the most significant community economic benefit in the local multiplier effect, which help the development of disadvantaged areas, in particular by keeping a large part of the income generated in local communities and generating new income, thus helping the activities, the objective, the local good governance. The development of the local economy also strengthen social links and solidarity. The main component of the sustainable local economy in the preservation of local traditional farming knowledge and practical application of the most appropriate and useful in the current situation based on the wide range of community resources. I believe that the development of an organized traceable national production, processing, logistic and marketing strategy and system based on the sub-regional level can bring development to the economy of given area, thus also significantly contributing to the strategic task of good governance. In my opinion, it is necessary to the creation and the development of small-scale pressing capacity based on the local product and production, combined with the strengthening on the family farms on the development of local market. The aim is to increase added value and keep and proportionate share of income local therapy, thereby improving local living and conditions. This will require close cooperation between local care, social players, local heroes, business, and local authorities. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Joseph Kaposta, for your good presentation and for your contribution. And it's a pleasure to us. Thank you so much.
Sorry, the minority problem. Sorry.
And now, next presentation is coming from Parvinder Kaur and Rashmi Gujrati from City University, India. Trace links between health and female labor force participation in India. Are you ready, Parvinder? Okay, we are listening to you. Word is yours.
Yes, ma'am. My screen is visible. Ma'am, my screen is visible.
Yes, you're audible.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Parvinder Kaur. I am a research scholar of economics at City University, Ludhiana, Punjab. Today, I am going to present my presentation on the topic trace links between health and female labor force participation in India under the guidance of Dr. Rashmi Gujrati. Labor is a vital component of production that leads to productivity, and variation in its quality and quantity have an effect on specializations. Labor force participation rate is an important indicator of economic growth and development. Female in particular are part of this category due to their dual roles as both as a homemaker as a worker. Female employment is regarded as a measure of their economic empowerment as well as significant predators of their contributions to the economic growth and development. But in recent years, female labor force participation rate in India is declining day by day. Not only has women job share reduced, the amount of women workforce often decline in actual figure. In 2004 and 5, only 148.59 million females were working, but in 2017 and 18, it decreased to 104.1%. If the economy wants to thrive, horizontal development, so women integrations and involvement in all the sector is highly needed. This is a literature review of my presentations. First of all, the Trivens and Gentomia in 2016 presented his paper, The Impact of Acute Health Shocks on the Labor Supply in Older Workers, Evidence from 16 European Countries. This research covered only 16 European countries. The findings suggest that an acute and chronic health disturbance on the average double that likely to elder workers leaving the job force and is followed by the decline in physical functioning and mental health of the female. Next is it investigated the impact of health on the labor supply of rural elder people in China by using the Charles data. The findings suggested that workforce and working hours involvement of rural seniors improved dramatically at the overall level and better health. And according to OSINA 2019, sustainable development does improvement in education and health of women improve female labor force participation. Empirical observations indicated a strong and significant correlations between women well-being, education level, and participation rates of the women in labor force in Nigeria. This research also concluded that women with elevated qualifications and notable health status are more likely to engage in the workforce. The last one is Kalia 2019, the impact of public health policy on labor force participation in Pakistan, a bound testing approach. This study utilized a short-term as well as the long-term auto-regression approach and bound evaluations. The finding of this study indicated that all the causal variables have substantial short-term and long-term relationship between the variables. These are the objectives of my study. The first objective, to study the relationship between female labor force participations and female life expectancy. To examine the relationship between female labor force participations and fertility rate. To scrutinize the relationship between female labor force participations and female school enrollment in tertiary education. To inspect the relationship between the female labor force participation and gross fixed capital formation. These are the hypotheses of my presentation. There is a positive relationship between the female labor force participations and female life expectancy. There is an inverse relationship between the female labor force participations and fertility rate. There is a positive relationship between the female labor force participations and female school enrollment in tertiary educations. And last one, there is a positive relationship between female participations and gross fixed capital formations. So in this analysis, numerous health-related variables are used to assess the association between health metrics and female labor force participation. The data is obtained from the World Development Indicators, and this is based on the time series analysis model, and the time period is 1990 to 2018. So EView software is used for the data analysis. So in my studies, we have used only 4 variables. First one is a labor force participation rate. So labor force participation rate is defined as a sections of working population in the age group 16 to 64 in the economy, currently employed and seeking for the employment. And second variable is a female life expectancy, estimate average number of additional years that a person of a given age can expect to live. And third one is a fertility rate. It is expressed as a children per woman. And last one is a gross fixed capital formation, is also called an investment, and it is defined as acquisitions of produced assets, including the productions of such assets by producers for their own use and minus disposable income. So EView software were used for the data analysis. So these are the result of my study. Only 27% female are participating in the female labor force markets, and the highest mean of the gross fixed capital formations. And so it shows female enrollment in this tertiary educations, and the gross fixed capital formations has only positive skewness, and the female labor force participation rate, life expectancy and fertility rate has a negative skewness. So it shows the correlations, female life expectancy and female secondary educations and the gross fixed capital formations has a negative associations between both the variables, but fertility rate has a positive impact on the female labor force participation rate. So we have used 3 techniques in this presentations. First one is a ordinary least regressions, auto regression, distribute lag methods, and second one is a bound testing approach. For more evidence of the long-term relationship between the given variables, we use the bound testing approach. So the F statistic is 11.46. So this model is a highly significant. The result presented health indicators prominently have influence on female labor force participation rate. So the results suggest that better health increase the probability of the female participation in the labor market. The gross capital formation has a negative influence on supply. Fertility has a positive impact and the life expectancy also have a positive impact. Therefore, we conclude that there is a long run relationship running from labor force participation rate and gross fixed capital formation in India. So these are the recommendations of my study. The finding of this study made it necessary to put forward to set up policy recommendations for the country to achieve the objective of female labor force participation rate in India. So education is also an important indicator for the females, availability of the educations and health enhance the standards of living of the all people, and it leads to increased female participation in the labor force. This means that the country thrives more women's female labor force participation in India has all the means to survive. Education is one of the most influential variables in income and labor force participation. This is a direct linkage if the human capital formation investment is also important part of the economy. So government and policy maker aim to improve the health status as well as the capital formations in India. So it leads to development and it leads to increase the opportunity for the women. So these are the references. Thank you.
Thank you, Parvinder, for your good presentation and your contribution also. And it's very effective to learn some things. I forgot to ask a question to Dr. Joseph Kaposta. If you're okay, can I ask a question to you about your presentation? And there's a problem and a question in my mind also. It's the same. I want to ask you, production is declining all over the world. As a result, inflation increases these days, you know, and people's purchasing power decreases. And also, could this cause, and how would you suggest your solution according to you? This is all the people thinks, I think this question is very important in all the people's minds all over the world, in Turkey also. Dr. Joseph, can you hear me? Maybe we can ask it later. And I want to call next presentation. Technological changes from logistic 4.0 to logistic 5.0. Research assistant, our research assistant Volkan will present this paper to you. And word is yours, Volkan. Let's listen you.
Dear scientists, I am Volkan Karaca. I work as a research assistant at Sakarya University of Applied Sciences. My topic is changes in Turkey's logistic performance and foreign trade transaction during and after the COVID-19 pandemic period. The COVID-19 pandemic has directly affected the foreign trade and logistics sectors, as it has in every sector. The interruption of these activities within a certain period also affected the foreign trade and logistic activities of the countries and significantly narrowed their transaction volumes. In this study, first of all, the COVID-19 pandemic process will be explained. Secondly, the foreign trade and logistics data related to the pre-pandemic period. In addition to these technological changes and developments in the logistics sector in the pandemic period and post-pandemic period will also be mentioned. A pandemic is defined as the spread of a disease or infections agent in a very wide framework, such as countries, continents, and even the whole world. COVID-19 emerged in December 2019, which was named 2019 & by the official decision of the WHO in the days it started. It has been on the agenda of the countries, its inception. After 2 years, a total of 5 to 3 million deaths due to COVID-19 were recorded worldwide. This number was shared as 79,000 people in Turkey, presidency of the Republic of Turkey, Ministry of Health. Governments, first of all, stop customs clearance, postpones flights in order to minimize the interaction of people with each other. And even further, many countries temporarily closed their borders and ports and stopped importing products. Exports which were $180 billion in 2019 decreased to $169 billion in 2020 with the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, resulting in a lot of $11 billion at the rate of 62%. When we look at the import figures, it is seen that there was an increase, $9 million, with an increase of 4%. The ratio of exports to imports decreased from 86% in 2019 to 77 to 3% in 2020. In order to minimize the effects of the virus on the sector and consumers economically, action plans specific to various sectors have been developed. The decision taken on foreign trade in the plan named Economic Stability Shield on March 18, 2020 are given below. As you see on the table, the trade decline with the pandemic has been palpable. Exports, imports, balance of foreign trade, volume of foreign trade, proportion of imports covered by exports, 2019 and 2020. Turkey's foreign trade transaction, in order to minimize the effects of the virus on the sector and consumers' economic action plans specific to various sectors have been developed. The decision taken on foreign trade in the plan named Economic Stability Shield on March 18, 2020 are given below. Loan, principal and interest payments of companies whose cash flow has deterioration due to the measures related to COVID-19 epidemic will be postponed for a minimum of 3 months, and additional financial support will be provided when necessary. Stock financing support will be given to the exporter in order to maintain the capacity utilization rates during the temporary slowdown in exports. Alternative channels will be developed according to the properties determined in the global production and retail against the possibility of disruption in global supply chains, postponing the debts of companies and traders suffering from cash flow problem. The COVID-19 outbreak has led to a significant reduction in travel activities with different modes of transport. COVID-19 pandemic, production, transportation, logistics, and demand change, etc. It has seriously disturbed all stages of the global supply chain, including. When we look at the statements made by Ayşe Ulusoy, chairman of the board, directors of the Association of International Forwarding and Logistics Service Providers, on December 2021, she emphasized that the epidemic brought supply shortage, and for this reason, the impulse provided through China were diversified. At this point, she states that since many of the global companies have started to direct their purchasing operations towards Turkey, this process not temporary, it is just the beginning. The development of e-commerce has also risen to the need of cargo with the pandemic period. The delivery of the products sold the owner has become the most important problem of e-commerce. When we refer to the data of COVID-19 commerce inside below, it's seen that the sector increased by 200% in the period of April-March 2020, and as of August 2020, when life returned to normal in Turkey, retail sales through e-commerce continued in a similar way. As you see on table 2, in the table, it is seen how the e-commerce performance of Turkey has changed in 1 week, in 1 week intervals from January 2020 until August. The COVID-19 process has brought digitalization in supply chains. The industry 4.0 process, the supply and logistic departments, which connect marketing and production each other, need to quickly adapt to technological developments. This transformation process can only occur simultaneously with technology by including the logistics, 4.0 transformation, big data, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, 5G technology, small data, and blockchain technology. The extent of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has affected the whole world, has also affected Turkey's foreign trade and logistics activities, and how it has progressed from the initial stage to the development stage presented in our study. In the light of the data examined in the study, it has been observed that Turkey's foreign trade volume has decreased during the pandemic period, so the logistic performance has been negatively affected by this. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Volkan, for your contribution. Is there any question to Volkan? No, okay. Do you have a solution about this process, Volkan, especially the logistics sector in Turkey and also all over the world? According to you, specific and maybe easy first step we can talk. Do you have a solution in this process?
Technology available in the future, in the next generation.
Thank you. And now I want to call the last presentation, application of robotic process automation for supply chain management, smart transportation and logistics. Dr. Taylor and Sofia Khan. And I think Sofia will present. Yes. Word is yours. We are listening you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Is my slide visible and is my voice clear?
Yes, yes, you're visible and we hear you. Go on, please.
Just a minute, ma'am, please.
Okay.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I am Sofia Khan from Manipal University, Jaipur, Rajasthan, India. I am a research scholar and I am here to present with my guide, Dr. R.K. Taylor, on the topic that is application of robotic process automation for supply chain management, smart transportation, and logistics. These are the contents, and I'll start with the introduction, that is application of robotic process automation in supply chain management. I'll just start with the introduction, that is what is RPA. RPA is a software technology that makes it easy to build, to deploy and manage the software robots that emulate human actions, interacting with digital systems and softwares. Just like people, software robots can do things like understand what's on the screen, complete the right keystrokes, navigate systems, and identify and extract the data, information, and perform various range of defined actions. But software robots can do it faster and more consistently than people without the need to get up and take a coffee break or anything. They don't need a break. They can do or work for hours and hours without even taking intervals and all. And here, according to Christian and Franziska and Rainer, the digitalization of buying and supply chain management is a priority of significant investment for organizations considering increased competitiveness and price constraints. As this segment tends to fall behind most business operations, RPA, robotic process automation, encompasses robots and also business automation. RPA, it streamlines supply chain operation in such a way that it reduces the manual work of the human when they're purchasing, they're ordering some things, some administrative work is there. All these works get reduced, and it is actually replaced with the robots. Robots do all these works, and also like return on investment is enhanced. The gap between the suppliers, that gap is bridged, and also human errors and duplicacy are reduced. New levels are established, and also the cost. The very important thing in a business is cost. So cost of operation is mostly reduced with the use of RP in supply chain, which actually ultimately improves the productivity and the profit is maximized. And flexible integration with system tools of supply chain and tasks that are frequently done are analyzed for identification and efficiency of supply chain. Then it is a robotic process automation in supply chain management. Like how it helps in supply chain management. It is like automation of emails. Automation of emails, maintaining good communication between providers, producers, transport service agencies, and consumers is an essential part of any supply chain. Even though clear and effective communication is so important in supply chains, it is also one of the areas where there is a lot of room for improvement. So email communication must be established in robotic process automation to ensure good cooperation between personnel in different departments. And the another point is planning of demand and supply. Until and unless we don't plan for demand, the supply becomes very difficult. So to make this difficulty easier, we make use of robots. Like before automation, supply and demand planning for personnel in any firm was not easy. Was not an easy task. So they needed to find and collect necessary data, integrate it, and organize it in a usable format, access data exceptions, and eventually convey the plan. By using machine learning, artificial intelligence, or say robotic process automation in supply chain, it helps organizations to estimate demand and be prepared to meet unforeseen surges in demand. And also organizations may now reduce the chance of human mistakes, which is very, very important. We human make mistakes, but robots, they are fed with the patterns, the patterns and some codes, so that they don't make as such the mistakes we can make. And also human mistakes and also make a process effective and also self-driven and smart by automating a majority of supply chain functions. And another point is services to customer. Services to customer is like as organizations use a distinct system for business processes, consumer data is revised in different systems, which must be synchronized to enable good consumer care. When consumer submits a request for service via mobile application, for example, an intelligent virtual assistant interacts with consumer and subsequently submit the request to system. So intelligent document processing solution can read the information from the variety of system request, document types, and work with RPA robots to record and manage those service request data. So in this way, robotic process automation can help to service consumer effectively. And this will ultimately raise the profit of the organization and their productivity also will rise. This type of automation enable business to focus their consumer services team on high quality tasks that develop client relationship. And client relationship is very important for a business to develop. Another is selection of vendor. So for selection of vendor, there is a process like quotation request preparation, then vendor discussion and communication, analysis of documents of vendors.
আমাদের এনটিসিসি ডিসকাশন হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ যে গ্রুপটা আছে না, ওটাতে দেখো দুটো লিংক ম্যাম পাঠিয়েছে, একদম টপের যে লিংকটা আঙ্কারা, ওটাতে জয়েন করো। ঠিক আছে বাবা, তাড়াতাড়ি। কিন্তু একটা জিনিস মানে আমি এটা দেখলাম, এখন যেটা চলছে না সেটা 11:15 সেশনটা।
ম্যাম, I could hear a different voice. Sorry.
ম্যামকে জিজ্ঞেস করি একটু, তুমি জয়েন করো তো ম্যামকে একটু। তুমি হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে দেখো লিংকটা আছে আনকার, হ্যাঁ ওখানে যে লিংকটা তুমি দেবে, লিংকটা দেবে হচ্ছে ওই লিংকটা যেটা হচ্ছে তোমার আঙ্কারা সেশনে।
Mr. Sardar, can you help us to mute Adriata? Adriata, can you mute yourself? We are hearing you and phone call.
হ্যাঁ ম্যাম বলছি জয়েন তো করেছি, কিন্তু এখন আমি দেখলাম ওটা ওই 11:15
Adriata'nın sesini kısabilir miyiz?
বাবা, আমি তো আনকারাটা জয়েন করেছি। হ্যাঁ আমি তো এখন আঙ্কারাটা থেকে আঙ্কারাটা লিভ করব।
So sorry, Sophia.
No, ma'am, it's okay. That's fine.
হ্যাঁ
It's because of maybe her mic is not muted by mistake.
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, তো হ্যাঁ তো হ্যাঁ।
Dear Adriata, can you mute yourself? Adriata.
আচ্ছা
Adriata. Adriata, can you hear us?
হ্যাঁ ওটাই ভাবছিলাম, তাহলে আমি
She is not able to hear us, ma'am, I guess.
ও তার এখন কি করব ব্যাপারটা তাহলে?
If you could mute, ma'am, it would be great.
ওকে 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 ঠিক আছে ম্যাম। আর একটা কথা ম্যাম বলছি, আমি কি মানে যদি না শুরু হয় তাহলে কি আমি একটু লাঞ্চ করে আসবো না কারণ? আচ্ছা আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে ম্যাম। আচ্ছা আমি সোমরূপ দাকেও বলছি, সোমরূপ দা তো এখন জুম মিটিংটা ইনস্টল করলো, করে বোধহয় সোমরূপটা অন করাতেই সোমরূপদাই ফোন করছে অন করাতেই।
Adriata is very happy. We know. Thank you. Thank you. And so sorry again, Sophia, and we are listening to you.
Yes, ma'am. I was okay. I was on the topic that is and also I was on the selection of vendor. Correct. So selection of vendor, I was just conveying the steps to for the selection of the vendor. That is quotation request preparation, then vendor discussions and communications, analysis of documents of vendor, vendor evaluation, credit cross-checking, then vendor finalization. So this is the procedure through which we select the vendor, and this becomes very easy when we use RPA. And the next slide is problem statement. So standardization process is the very challenging, very big problem for the robotic process automation, as the robots can not perform the complex procedures which are not fed by the individuals, the humans in them. So that work which is not fed becomes difficult for them to perform. Like organizations experience process standardization as a major problem at all phases of RPA journey. Process complexity raises the cost of RPA. And the cost, when it increases, it becomes a problem, while also increasing operational cost and causing interruptions. Unfortunately, organizations have discovered that even in situations where sufficient documentation is available, procedures are not always fully understood. It also faces a problem in technical support while implementing RPA and supply chain. And IT firm support and consulting are essential. So including an IT organization in RPA implementation process is required and recommended. So solution flexibility. Initially, RPA was thought to be halted automation process. It promotes the idea that bots can only learn once and must be taught precise lessons to perform subsequently. Solution adaptability can now be provided to all stages of automation due to RPA. So learning while adaptability is still seen as a concern. Various stakeholders have different expectations, and participation of employee also becomes very difficult because employees employment is reducing due to the employment of RPAs robots. So it the participation of employees are also decreasing day by day as they are thinking that they don't have any work to do. The RPA is actually replacing them, so it becomes very difficult to tell them that they are also important, but in a different way. Everything have a different way or a different way of doing things. So yes, so employees participation is very becoming very difficult. And robotic process automation and uh, RPA in transportation and logistics. Yes. So RPA is a process of teaching a machine to perform like a repetitive task, some boring tasks. If a logical step is present, robots may copy the work and perform it. Like robots, what they do is they copy the work and they perform. But like the RPA program can now manage the returns, which requires a series of recurring activities like sending a message acknowledging receiving the returns, changing the inventory levels, altering the payments to customers, ensuring that the internal billing system is updated. So all these things RPA can manage properly. And organizations require expensive, effective solutions that are compatible, perform work in less amount of time, and can manage with the quantity variations with velocity, flexibility, durability to maximize the benefit of RPA. And also RPA service allows businesses to establish a virtual workforce that is quick, reliable, cost effective, available around the clock for a variety of processes, resulting in operational efficiency. Then advantages of RPA in transportation and logistics. Advantages like it saves time. It is very obvious that when human are doing some work, it takes time because one person, one work, or two-person, two work, or one person, two work. But RPA, it can perform many functions, many work at a time. So it is actually saving time and also minimizing errors, as they are fed with codes, they are fed with some patterns which they have to perform. So according to them, they will perform. So the errors, like we say, errors are minimized. And also it enhances the productivity as errors are less, time is saved, and the cost is also becoming very less. That will ultimately improve the productivity and the profitability. So these are the advantages which actually we can see when we implement robotic process automation in transportation and logistics. So RPA and logistics can simplify the workforce and also lower total operational cost, enhance efficiency, productivity by inserting data at the core of logistic organizations. The use of RPA is continuing to reshape the logistic industry. Corporations use RPA in transportation to effectively do the management of deliveries, from a distribution center to individuals and businesses all around the world. The use of RPA in transportation is essential for management and gaining several cost efficiency gains. Now it is RPA in transportation and logistics, how it helps in RPA in transportation and logistics. That is, it is a processing of, one second ma'am, there is a network issue, I guess. Ma'am, can you hear me? Is my voice clear, ma'am?
Yes, yes, Sophia, go on, please.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. So I was on the RPA, how it helps in transportation and logistics. Like we'll say a processing of order. So like inventory processing and processing of order due to due to massive amount of data entry which is required to manage shipment and invoice data. This is difficult for manual labor to handle. However, this is also one of the reasons why robotic process automation in transportation is important. The progressive rotating orders number, the PRO number is there for shipment, can be easily retrieved from the provider's website by robots. Keeping track of data and also invoicing amounts becomes simple with the use of RPA. Then inventory management is essential for both producers and distributors since it ensures the consumer's need. And then procurement and inventory management are management of data operations that involve pulling information from numerous databases and comparing that with what consumer want. So this is exactly what software bots are good at. So they can even use real-time reports to optimize inventory levels. Ordering processing normally requires a lot of paperwork and entering data by hand. The procedures take a long time and requires a lot of resources. So all this becomes very complex. So with the use of RPA, we can actually uh, make it easier to work. It shortens and streamlines the procedure and orders that can be completed rapidly and transported along with the transportation chain with the use of RPA. RPA can also can be used to improve the procedures further down the transportation chain. Then it says about shipment and tracking. Initially, pickup orders as well as monitoring and reporting delivery status across the internal operations and portals are based on the regulations. High volume logistic jobs. So this implies that the shipment process appears to build for the software bots. Data management capabilities of robots are put to better use of extracting shipment information from email communication or tracking jobs and schedulers. So the shipment and tracking procedure is becoming very easy. Consumers can log into their profiles with their businesses to find out where their things are. Consumers can also find out when cargo is likely to arrive and whether there are any interruptions. Businesses might utilize RPA to manage incoming check calls, uh, like saving the endless resources and ensuring that somebody is ready to accept the delivery that demands a sign or should not be left undistributed. So all these things can be these small things, but it is very important for the business to grow. So all this can become very easy with the use of robots. Then we would say invoice processing of invoice or say invoice management. That is like because of their integrated potentials, robot softwares are best solution for this task because they can simplify the operation because bots can interface with commercial goods, transportations, end-to-end automated order to cash procedures for many big third-party logistics providers are possible. RPA thus assists logistic organizations in overcoming these significant challenges of getting paid on time after completing work. So by delegating this operation to bots, what they can do is you relieve your personnel from time-consuming, error-prone operations like rekeying, cutting, pasting, and physically adding data to bills. The entire process from extracting shipment information to updating client sites takes seconds rather than days, as it takes in case of doing invoice manually. So invoicing with the use of robots is way better than doing it manually. And satisfaction to consumer. This point I've already explained before also, that the consumer satisfaction is very important. Like consumer can actually ask for the queries, they can talk to the intelligence with the mobile phone, they can order, and everything they can do with the mobile phone or the internet websites. It is not like they have to go to the in the real time things and ask for the help or nothing. So RPA robots can actually help way better to the consumer satisfaction. And then communication is important in every stage of life, and also communication becomes very easy with the help of robots. Good communication, email communication with consumer is essential. So RPA can assist by automatically delivering messages to consumers whenever an order is processed, dispatched, delayed through the system. So they actually give the messages to consumer that your order is delayed, your order is dispatched. So and also RPA has improved the communication between business and consumers, and this leads to greater satisfaction and better operations of management. Higher managers, workers, assistants, advisors, and end consumers all need to be able to get product information when they need it. So how will they get? Through communication. So RPA has actually improved the communication between the departments, between the employees, between the personnel and the consumer businesses, everything. Same way, if the consumer wants question to be answered, chatbots, as I said, they can actually ask to the chatbots, can be used for it, and they can the chatbots can reply related to the status of the orders, shipment status, order delays, and any other order process related queries that can be answered through robots or say chatbots. So this is how communication is also improving. Then generation of reports. Making reports manually, it is a difficult task, we all know. When we make reports, it takes days, a lot of time, and a lot of energy is wasted. Through robots, it is easy. RPA tool helps simplifies the process of report generation.
They are gradually decreasing, which are of course due to these government measures in the countries. And Hungary and Slovakia, as I mentioned, they are neighboring countries, but they are in the member of so-called...
Hocam, sesimizi kısabilir miyiz? Teşekkürler. Please go on, Sophia.
Yes, ma'am.
So cooperation several decades ago, and
sorry, the software can extract the essential data from the supplied information and add it to report automatically. Therefore, it involves less to no manual interface when using RPA solutions for generating reports. Like creating reports for a large number of framework for analysis reasons can become tedious, time-consuming, inaccurate. Artificial intelligence or RPA solutions can provide report based on the information automatically. So, like I said, it involves no manual interface when using RPA solutions for generating reports. There is other important work that can be utilized with the help of RPA, as it saves a lot of time and resources. Then there is like RPA in transportation, like airline is also a transportation. So it also enhances this airline industries. Like RPA provide good opportunity for transportation businesses. they can make the resources and situation more effective for airline too. Therefore, airline industry can enhance their pace of performing tasks, quality of work. When quality and time are maintained, rules and regulations are followed properly. This is very important for rules to get followed. The time and the quality has to get maintained, and the cost is also reduced, which is very important. Often the present scenario focuses on the accounting automation instead of traditional accounting method. So it is essential to convert the whole process of automation so that the passenger revenue and other factor of income expenditures can easily be analyzed. Then there are the applications of robotic process automation in airline. Like departmental work packages are created. What this is, like each day numerous professionals must work together to complete this operation manually. So this makes it very boring, monotonous, or say time consuming, exactly the sort of work that sets the professional under a high level of stress, reduces their like employee satisfaction is also reduced. There are more chances of error. Only one person is required to monitor the process and manage any potential problem when using RPA for package generation. So man-hour reduction is there, enhanced task management, and also the time cycle is decreased. Also better services. Uh, there are better services also. So the second point is revenue outflow recognition. This is what is to like plug income leakages. The airline firm must do synchronization with the tour operators. In the aviation industry, RPA signifies synchronizing. The synchronization becomes very easy. That is, first and foremost, we are going to get fault detection. We are going to get fault detection, yes, become significantly faster, encompasses all synchronized aspects. This provides greater understanding, which increases the possibility of making proper revenue, restoration, and security decisions. In the end, collecting the lost income and like reducing leakages through automation results in significant cost saving for airline sector. And other point is fetching data from the old system. Fetching data from the old system is traditionally like file retrieval was accomplished by either increasing staff workload, by operating manually, or by requesting that the software developer adjust the platform. Both are time and money intensive, we would say, and software bots can be used to do it like far quicker, cheaper, and also more precisely it can be done. Ensuring that all files on the system and are retrievable, relocated to the new system promptly. RPA can therefore replace the ineffective and the obsolete IT system that restrict creativity and expansion. So all this happens with a little human interaction. This indicates the RPA can help to better utilize human labor for relatively high value tasks. Then another point is a notification to travelers. Notification is like RPA actually provides all the notification. They reply through the chatbots, and they say that your orders are here, your order dispatched, and everything. So notification updation, we would say the consumers are updated day by day or time to time as per the their need. And management of data. Data is effectively managed. Airline operations use software bots to look for the lost data, find the required transmitted data. They can be performed necessary inspection can be done, yes, tolerance level, everything is inspected. Then different processing stages can be updated and improved using necessary data set. Not only that, but robots can detect the right data value when exchanging coupon codes that are not reported correctly. The records can then be compared to determine when they need to be renewed. So the data is managed very effectively. Data management is done very effectively using RPA. Then scheduling of crew. So it is written like RPA can assist you in assigning responsibility across the team. So like assigning responsibility across the team and effectively managing the job demands. The use of automated alert notification allow members of the crew to be notified of any modifications. Also, the situation of pandemic makes it more possible that modifications will happen. So being ready to deal with them effectively is an asset to deal with the problem for the crew and the airline sector. So crew scheduling becomes easier with the help of RPA. Last, I'm here with the conclusion that transportation is the biggest problem in each country. Transportation faces biggest problem in each country. So each human being is associated with transportation directly or indirectly in their life. They want to reduce the pressure of transportation, such as waiting time, stress, staff management, work-life balance. The role of technology has also reduced these problems in transportation. RPA helps in freights, order routing, making reporting automated, management of freights, driver feedback, better decision making, the accuracy of investment management can be enhanced, automated tracking can be done, through which checking transport calls can be reduced, scheduling the shipment and tracking it. Invoicing management, procurement management, all these actually can get easier. RPA can streamline all these functions, all these things very easily. The tools such as RPA and artificial intelligence, have also given the freedom to minimize these problems. With the use of RPA, various problems of transportation in airline can also be minimized. As I just discussed, that is RPA can be helpful in airline, like departmental work packages can be created, file can be fetched from previous systems, travelers can be notified, data can be managed, scheduling of crew. So all this becomes very easy. So ultimately what I would say is doing manually is good, but doing with RPA is better. So whichever is better, we should go with that, so that the productivity improves and the profitability also improves, and the customers, society gets what they deserve. Thank you. And these are the references. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sophia, for your presentation, for your contribution. And I hope your health is well.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just having cold.
Okay, okay. Save yourself, please.
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Thank you again. And is there any question to our contributors, to our presenters? Do you want to add or ask any question, any words?
No, ma'am, I have no questions, but thank you for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm glad to just present this presentation here.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Parvinder. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, Enkaleda. Thank you, myself. And thank you, Joseph and Volkan. And our presenters presented their presentation, and wonderful information gives us and shared with us. Thank you. And if there is no any question, I can finish our section. Thank you, all of you, and hope to see you other sections, afternoon sections. I want to say bye and have a nice day, and eat your meals, and after that we will be together again. Hope to see you afternoon. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.